All right, let's talk about the lifeblood of your car, engine oil. Now, this is a topic that is just swimming in decades of advice, but you know what? A lot of what you've probably heard could actually be harming your engine. So we're going to separate the real facts from the fiction. Okay, let's get into it. So I want to start with a pretty direct question. Is the oil that's in your car right now secretly doing damage? It's a serious question because using the wrong oil or following an outdated maintenance schedule, well, that can lead to some incredibly expensive repairs, all because of myths that just refuse to go away. And that is exactly what we're going to do here. We are going to bust the biggest, most common myths about engine oil before they get a chance to bust your engine. Let's get started. So first up, we're going to tear apart some of these long-held beliefs and look at the actual hard mechanical facts. These are those rules you've probably heard a million times from friends, family, maybe even a mechanic you trusted for years. Okay, here is a classic. The idea that a thicker, heavier oil gives you better protection. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? A thicker cushion should mean more safety. But honestly, that way of thinking is seriously out of date. The reality is that modern engines are built with incredibly tight tolerances. We are talking about clearances that are thinner than a single human hair. Oil that's too thick just can't squeeze into those tiny spaces fast enough, and this is especially dangerous during a cold start. This can literally starve parts of your engine of lubrication right when they need it the most. It increases wear, and it even hurts your gas mileage. So the key isn't using thicker oil, it's using the correct thickness, the right viscosity. And now for the big one, the 3,000-kilometer oil change. This might be the single most famous piece of car advice on the entire planet. It's treated like it's written in stone. But the truth is, this rule is a total relic. It comes from a time when we had less advanced engines and really simple mineral oils that broke down fast. Today's engines and modern synthetic oils, they're engineered for a much, much longer life. So if you're blindly following that 3,000-kilometer rule, you're often just throwing away your money and wasting good oil. Just think about the environmental impact of that for a second. Millions of liters of perfectly good oil getting dumped prematurely every single year. And this number right here really puts it all into perspective. So many modern cars running on synthetic oil have manufacturer-recommended change intervals of 8,000, 10,000, sometimes even up to 15,000 kilometers. The big takeaway? Trust the engineers who actually designed your car. Your owner's manual is the only guide you need, not some old myth. Okay, let's talk about the good old dipstick test. You pull it out, you see that dark, almost black oil, and what's your first thought? Panic, right? Time for an oil change. Well, not so fast. You know, this might be one of the biggest misunderstandings in all of car maintenance. Dark oil doesn't mean it's broken or bad. It means it's doing its job. Modern oils are packed with detergents designed specifically to clean your engine. The oil turns dark because it's successfully captured all the soot and contaminants, and it's holding them in suspension so they don't form that horrible, damaging sludge. Seeing dark oil is actually a sign that your oil is working perfectly. So now that we know modern oils are basically these sophisticated cleaning machines, let's dive into our next section and focus specifically on synthetic oils and some of the strange myths that have popped up around them. You hear this one a lot, especially from people with classic cars or just high-mileage vehicles. There is this fear that modern synthetic oil is too, slippery or something, and that it's going to make all the seals in an older engine start to leak. In reality, a good quality synthetic oil is fantastic for almost any engine, new or old. It offers way better protection, and it's much, much better at preventing that nasty sludge buildup. Now here's the kernel of truth in the myth. If an engine has really old, brittle seals that were already on their way out, the strong detergents in synthetic oil might clean away the gunk that was plugging up a leak that was already there. So the oil didn't cause the leak, it just revealed it. And I'm sure you've heard this rule too. You must never, ever mix different brands or types of oil. The big fear is that you'll create some kind of crazy chemical reaction that will just destroy your engine from the inside out. Okay, so mixing oils won't cause your engine to explode or seize up on the spot. But it's still not a great idea. The real problem is all about performance. See, every bottle of quality oil has this unique, carefully balanced recipe of additives. When you start mixing different oils, you're just diluting that special formula. That means you're not getting the full protection that you paid for. So while it's not a complete catastrophe if you have to do it in an emergency, it's always best to just stick to one type to get the performance you expect. All right, we've busted the myths.
Now let's talk about how to actually make the right choice when you're standing in the auto parts store. This next part is all about learning how to read the oil bottle itself, so you can choose based on science, not just some flashy marketing.
So first, we have to get a really good handle on this word viscosity. All it means is how much a fluid resists flowing. Just think about the difference between pouring water and pouring honey. See, honey has a much higher viscosity, and this property is absolutely critical for engine oil because it needs to flow easily when your engine is freezing cold, but it also has to be strong enough to create a protective film when it's screaming hot.
And that brings us to that code you always see on the bottle, something like 5W30. It's actually telling you two different things. That first part, the 5W, well, the W stands for winter. It tells you how well the oil flows when it's cold. And for those critical startups, a lower number is better. The second number, the 30, that's the oil's viscosity when your engine is at its normal hot operating temperature. So that one simple code tells you exactly how the oil is designed to perform across a whole range of conditions. Pretty smart, huh?
And finally, and this is so important, you've got to learn to look past the cool labels and the famous brand names. The most important thing on that bottle is a small seal of approval. These come from industry groups like the API, that's the American Petroleum Institute, or ACEA over in Europe. These little seals are your absolute guarantee that the oil has passed a whole bunch of difficult, standardized tests and that it meets the minimum performance levels your car manufacturer requires. That little seal is way more important than the brand name on the front.
Okay, wow. We've covered a ton of ground. So let's bring it all home and boil it all down to the simple rules that really, truly matter for keeping your engine healthy for the long haul.
So here is what you really need to remember. Number 1, your car's manual is your Bible. Trust it above all else. 2, thicker oil is not better oil. The right viscosity for your specific engine is what matters. 3, don't be afraid of dark oil. It's a good sign. It means the detergents are doing their cleaning job. And 4, those little API or ACEA performance seals on the back of the bottle, they matter way more than any brand loyalty. And that's our deep dive into engine oil myths. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other rules about cars that you've always followed might be completely wrong? Something to think about. Thanks so much for watching.